So a loved one has passed, and now there's the belongings and stuff left behind to deal with, and you've been designated as executor in the will. It won't work to take the will to the bank of the deceased to access his accounts. The will alone also doesn't give you authority to sell any inherited real estate. There's a process that's required before you can do any of that stuff. The will has to be verified as valid, and you have to be officially designated as executor or personal representative by an official at the probate office before you can act on the terms of the will. So the first step is to take the will along with some other documents to the appropriate probate office, and that's going to most likely be in the county where the deceased lived when they passed away. And you'll need to do that within 30 days of death. In Berkeley County, Janet Holzhauser is likely going to be the person that you'll meet with and receive your docs, and I think she'll qualify you as the executor. She's a nice lady. I sat down with her recently, asked her some questions. She was very helpful. So here's the documents you'll need to bring to the fiduciary office: a certified copy of the death certificate, a certified copy of the will, and the names and contact information, mailing addresses for all the individuals named in the will. The approximate value of all personal property held solely in the decedent's name, and there may be a requirement to post a bond, and that amount's going to be determined by the estimated value of the decedent's personal property, excluding real estate. You'll need to pay a fee to open an estate. That's going to typically be between $80 and $175, depending on the size of the estate. And once you have submitted all the documents to the officer at the office, the fiduciary office, the supervisor will validate the will, and the person named as the executor or personal representative, those two terms mean the same thing, and issue a letter of qualification. And that's the very important document that you'll need to present to banks, investment companies, etc. So they'll give you access to the deceased assets. It's the thing that allows you to get started on the probate process and settle the estate. It also gives you the authority to sell any real estate in the will. So after you get that letter of qualification, the probate office will publish a notice in the newspaper so that anyone claiming to be owed money can step forward. They have 60 days to do that. The executor will also give notice to all the creditors of which they are aware, and also give notice to all beneficiaries that probate has been initiated. First, the executor will access the assets, the bank accounts, CDs, real estate, etc., and open an estate bank account where all of those assets will be in one place. Next step is to pay creditors, and that will include funeral expenses. The executor also has the responsibility of filing income taxes for the deceased on any income earned in the year of death. So for tax purposes, you'll want to determine the value of the deceased assets at the time of death. And after creditors have been paid and taxes are taken care of, then the personal representative may distribute the remaining assets to the beneficiaries and complete the probate process. If there's no will and you are applying to be the administrator, which same thing as the executor or personal representative, then the process is essentially the same. You may need to be bonded in that case, and that's like an insurance policy that protects beneficiaries and creditors in the event the executor mishandles the estate's assets. And since there's no will that specifies beneficiaries, the state determines the distribution of the remaining proceeds after creditors have been paid. There's a lot of responsibility placed on the executor. So it's important to understand the process to avoid liability. The majority of people that open an estate in this area do not use an attorney unless it's a fairly large estate with a lot of assets. But it's always advisable to seek legal advice if you feel at all uncomfortable with the process. Here's the addresses of the probate offices in the 3 counties where you would go to begin the probate process. If you'd like an overview of the probate process, we put together a general guide to the steps involved, and you are welcome to download that. It's on our website, which is inheritedrealestatewv.com. Okay, thanks for tuning in. I hope this was helpful if you're in this situation, and if you are and you need some help, call me anytime. I'm at 304-264-2828. All right, have a great week. I'll see you next week. Bye.